Fox 13 meteorologist Jim Weber with your SKYTOWER radar forecast.
Elsa is churning south of Cuba right now. Through the overnight hours, we've seen this big burst of convection. The actual center of circulation is located right about here. So we're seeing a lot of this sitting on that east and southeastern side down to the south. And you also have this other area which is dying out over on this western side. Now, right now, it is working its way to the northwest. Pressure has fallen down to 1,004 millibars. You can see the top winds right now are at 65 miles an hour. So as we go through the day today, it's working its way over Cuba, works its way up into the Florida Straits, and then through the Keys as we head through early tomorrow morning. We're expecting these winds right around 60 to 65 miles an hour, but there could be some small intensification with this as it works its way on to the north. Not expecting this to intensify back into a hurricane, but it's one of those things you got to babysit it. You got to watch it very closely. Now, the big key to a lot of this will continue to be exactly where does it take this track. Moving further away from us will lessen the effects that we feel here on the west coast. Remember, at least at this point, the winds, the tropical storm force winds, they extend out about 60 miles from the center. So this is a fairly compact storm at this point. But what we need to be preparing for, because we're sitting on that west or that eastern side of the storm, so the stronger side of the storm. So we're going to have these stronger winds with this, winds gusting, tropical storm force 50, 60 miles an hour along the coastline, maybe even a little bit higher. The strong winds with this. Then we also have the rainfall. Remember, we had a lot of rain over the weekend, so any additional rain, that is going to cause issues, cause some flooding issues. Some of the roots of some of these trees may be weakened, and then we also have the possibility of some isolated tornadoes with any tropical system which is working its way along your coastline and then making landfall. So here's where we stand with the warnings and the watches. Anywhere you see that blue shade, that is a tropical storm watch that goes from Inglewood to the north. South of there, it is currently a warning. As time goes on, that warning will be extended further and further up the coastline. Then the storm surge, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge along the coastline. I think very similar to what we saw with Ada last year. So if you had flooding issues with Ada last year, you could end up having issues once again this year. You have to prepare for that. You look at the various computer models getting better and better agreement, but still there's enough of that spread among the various computer models that, again, if this shifts further towards the west, that helps our situation. If it goes to our south, it makes landfall, which at this point probably doesn't look all that likely. But if something like that were to happen, that would actually put us on the weaker side of the storm, bringing some of the stronger winds in down to our south. So going back and looking at Ada last year, we saw 2 to 4 foot storm surge along the coastline, winds gusting 50 to 70 miles an hour, the heavy rain and the isolated tornadoes. So as you compare the track with Ada last year to the forecast track of Elsa this year, you can see they're fairly similar. That's why we are talking about fairly similar conditions that we expect to see with Elsa this time around. Now today, and what we have going on right now, you can see just some scattered showers working their way across our northern counties. Very similar to what we saw yesterday. So as far as weather conditions for today, no problems. If you have anything that you have to prepare for the storm, you're not going to have those issues as we go through the day today. 81 degrees right now here in Tampa. Brandon, you're at 77. Down in Sarasota, 78 degrees. 81 over in Clearwater and in St. Petersburg. So as we go through the day today, scattered storms mainly down to our south for today. Daytime high at 92 degrees. Then for tonight, partly cloudy, muggy, low temperature of 78. By tomorrow, here comes the wind. The winds will be picking up, the showers and the storms, so conditions will start to really go downhill as we go into tomorrow night and into early on Wednesday. On the water today, winds are out of the east at 10 knots, seas 2 feet, light chop on the basin and inland waters. High tide comes up at 11:04 this morning. Here's your 7-day forecast. Rain chances working their way up. The winds will be picking up. Once everything passes by, we'll dry things back out and get into a more typical pattern as we get into the second half of the work week.